Oh, hello everyone. Welcome back. Welcome back to Bullshit Land of Bullshit. How's everybody doing? Who's here? Hello. I see Helios, I see Rez, I see Heracles, I see Nikki. Hi guys, how you doing? Guys and gal?
Hello.
How's everybody feeling?
I'm doing good. It's Friday. It's always good. My feet hurt because I got new boots.
I gotta invite,
But it's Saturday.
But it's Saturday. I don't know about that. So, we're here after, my stream about, the Canadian Atheists website and Randolph Richardson's, absolute bullshit nonsense, in my humble opinion. I was just kind of showing what was going on without, there was definitely opinion in there, but as you do. But what do you guys think? Hey, bearded heretic, how you doing? Whoa.
I guess that answers that.
Yeah, Jesus, tell us how
Hello.
you really feel.
Can you hear me?
Hello.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hello. There
Hello.
we go.
Success. How you doing, man? Long time no
Yeah,
chat.
I'm good, thanks. It has been a long time, hasn't it? Too long, you could say.
In my opinion, yes.
In my opinion, yes, as well.
So, you've been out of the loop a little bit, right?
Yeah, what's been going on? Because this seems like to be quite. I don't know what's going on with Randolph and that. But it seems
Well-
to be.
Yeah.
Stupidity.
That's
That's going on.
that is certainly a word. Well, he's got he got on some kind of shtick because he was doing his usual talking about atheism, getting philosophy wrong, right? His normal stuff.
Yeah.
And then he started going in on people who were like, what? And he started passing around some clip of claiming that I'm saying that we should murder 3-year-olds and that Manya is like homophobic and all kinds of shit. And I happened to look at his website for some reason because he was saying people should go check it out. So I was like, okay. And I looked at his website and I'm like, what the flying hell am I looking at?
It
So I
is
was
one
like-
of those websites.
Yeah, so I was like, this is kind of like scammy and seems a little fraud-ish to me. Like I don't know who works for you. You're saying you're this big group and you're an organization, but there's only one guy. And like, so I had laid out some of my criticisms and I went, and then he responded with like the Canadian Atheist Twitter, because he can't respond to me. I've had him blocked forever. Shocker. Sometimes you block people that are calling you a child murderer. I know. It's what a thought. So I did a video looking at the website and sort of laying out my criticisms because his Canadian Atheist Twitter account ignored what I had said on Twitter, and I was like, okay, I'll put my foot down. I did my video, then there was like a hand of people defending him, a hand of people saying he should have a chance to respond, yada yada yada. And I'm like, he's got a website, he's got a channel, he can fucking respond. I'm not stopping him, I don't give a shit. But like a handful of the people from like these the online atheist community activist groups, like, the Line and
Yeah.
like all this whole clique of people just completely fucking ignores this shit. It completely ignores it or defends it or just is like, well, I watched the first 5 minutes and that seems like a silly thing to, like, that seems silly. And it's like, what?
This might explain something, actually.
Yep.
Because he's been going to a lot of Answers and Reasons streams, and he was on my stream today.
Mm-hmm.
And it seems like, I don't know, he's been unusually, like, not nice, but overly nice, almost like suspiciously nice like before, Like, we've had run-ins with Randolph in the past, like, on Twitter, obviously, we have
Yeah,
a similar stance to you guys on the approaches we have in that, but he's suddenly become really, like, supportive of us, which is odd. and maybe he's trying to find some more allies on this side of the fence.
Oh, what? You mean having allies like Nate Brody and Jimmy Snow isn't good enough?
Well, I don't know.
Not to be sassy or anything, but
Who needs enemies when you have friends like those?
I
Yeah.
know, right?
The other thing I find really funny is that he's a president, right? The president of the Canadian atheists.
Yeah, the president of all of just himself, yes.
Doesn't
Yes,
that
the
imply that
president.
there's an election?
Yes. Correct.
So like, surely there's going to be like election records. There's going to be like a treasurer. You know, there's all this stuff that he should have. Because like being a CEO is different to being a president, right?
I shit you not. The Canadian Atheists Twitter tweeted at me in response saying they wanted my information about what my complaint was, so they could get they could get their anti-fraud legal team on it.
Yeah,
Bullshit. Doesn't exist. Prove it.
That's amazing.
I don't
there's
know. I can't make this shit up.
There's also the classic. I don't know if you remember this, Chesh, but there's the classic. Christians existed 600 years before Christ. That he had on his website.
Of course, because of course. And that's part of my thing is like I don't know how legal it is in Canada to have a PO box that goes to two different businesses when it's the same PO box address. Because that raises like question marks to me about whether or not that you're allowed to do that. But I don't know enough to say whether or not there's a fraud going on here, but it certainly is scammy. It's like, hey, be a member of my organization and give me donations, but we're going to kind of slide it under the rug that we're actually an organization of a business, not an organization as in a nonprofit. But also, we're going to not tell you what you get for your membership. Not tell you about anybody who works with us and we and our. And also, we're not going to tell you anything or show you anything that we do with the money at all.
I wonder what their finances look like. I'd find that very interesting.
Yeah, I'd be curious
That
to know.
kind of behavior is the only reason you would engage in that kind of behavior is if you were engaging in some kind of fraud, some kind of tax evasion, some kind of embezzlement. That's the only reason you would do that.
Oh, like,
Yeah, that's
why
what I
you
was going to
have-
say. Like,
I can't see a
What are their
legitimate
taxes
reason
like?
to do that.
I mean, what are they declaring as donations? What are they declaring as, how do they categorize their finances? And, what are they paying taxes on exactly?
And the other thing is like you've got this question about there's a difference between whether or not this is technically legal for a company to do and whether or not it's sketchy as fuck or ethically feasible.
Oh, I just found something
Yeah.
which is quite interesting.
me.
Canada, a PO box cannot be used as the official address for your business when it comes to filing paperwork, or as a searchable location listing in Google.
Well.
Yeah, I was.
Well, lovely. So, if he's not doing anything wrong, it's certainly that. So, can you just say that for us one more time, louder for the
You
people?
can use
in
it
the
as a
back?
mailing address, but yeah, you cannot use it as an official address for your business when it comes to filing paperwork or as a searchable location listing in Google.
Okay, so
Which is what you did, right? That's what you did. That's how you
Yeah.
found all those businesses.
yes, so all of those
Is it-
businesses and areas are searchable as a listing on Google. And however, it does say atheist headquarters, but it also does above say mailing address and then headquarters. So you might be able to finagle that argument to be like, well, it wasn't our official address for our paperwork. We used something else for that.
Why I
But-
sent you the thing I sent you as a DM. Actually.
Yeah. I need to relook at that again. Also, hello, Manya. Welcome. This was your idea, so you should tell us how you doing.
Hi. I'm doing good. How is everyone else? I decided to get up and get out of the house to kickstart the day, so I'm back now. Yeah, it's funny, like, how, like, everybody tries to save each other's asses when it comes to, like, questions like, how's an organization, in quotes, an organization with only one person who's the president of themselves, I guess, they're managing their funds. If you remember, the same issue came up with the atheist community of Austin, if you remember. Who was that chick who came and
Yeah, are you talking about Autumn? Notes by Autumn?
Autumn. Yeah. So those were the same questions that they were asking, like what are you doing with the money? Where is it going? If you are a charity organization, where are your financials? Where can we access those? If you're a business, then have you declared yourself as a business to, you know, people who are donating to you? What's going on? And it's the same issue with this guy Randolph, because I'm quite certain there's no member. There are no other members. No other members have actually even come forward, if I'm not wrong.
Well, there's also a difference between, like, a member and somebody who works for them. I'd be less interested to know who's falling for this guy's bullshit and more interested in knowing who else is on his payroll, quote unquote.
And it's like they claim they have left the theist dogma behind, but they haven't, because they use the same tactics to try and discredit their criticizers or people who ask them questions by making false accusations against them, like they tried making against you, Shesh, of homophobia, and I also, I guess, because the clip was there and I'm also in it, against you, like of homophobia and
infanticide.
Infanticide and stuff, and then when you did not deter from your questioning, David Worley comes in and it's like, it's silly. Why is it silly to question an organization's financials, and what are you exactly doing? You're claiming to be an organization, and you're offering memberships. What the fuck are you offering for the money you're asking for?
David Worley, I was so disappointed. I was so dis-a-fucking-pointed with that kind of a response. I was like, the guy who made such a big stink about somebody that he viewed as being inappropriate with him and got so much support and so much help is completely just brushing off the fact that this fucking guy is accusing people of all types of horrendous shit while having a sketchy as fuck website, and as we looked at today, it just gets more sketchy.
To create a smoke screen around their financials and stuff. Okay, if you don't want, okay, I get it. Okay, you don't want to talk about your financials, then say, I'm not going to talk about my financials with you. If someone wants an audit to be conducted, they are free to hire an auditor, or I will hire an auditor and get it, audited and stuff to prove to you that it's not wrong. Go for that. But to come up with disgusting deflections by making false accusations of homophobia and fantasization, whatever it is, killing
Infanticide.
Children. Infanticide. It's absolutely ridiculous. And what kind of an atheist or an organization or a president are you if you can't take this much of pushback? You're a pussy. You don't deserve to be then a president of an organization, in my personal opinion, if you can't take simple ass questions as what you were asking, Shesh. Seriously. And my rant is over. Now I can breathe. Okay.
She was excited. She had things to say.
Yes, I had. I was like, either I could do my own live stream and rant about it, or I could go on a channel where there's a much more following than I have, and then talk about it. So here I am, and absolutely ridiculous. And that's what I asked David Worley. I was like, why is it silly? can you explain? And of course, because I'm not a big wig in the atheist community, so he didn't seem it like he didn't deem it that I'm important enough to answer the question.
I didn't even bother giving him pushback on that because he said that he didn't even watch it. I'm like, why the hell am I gonna have an argument or a discussion with you about something you admittedly didn't even watch or didn't even care to watch? Like, how much do you actually care about the atheist communities or people getting taken advantage of, or how much of an activist or humanist are you when somebody says, hey, your Canadian atheist president is accusing people of murdering children, and also his website is sketchy as fuck, and you don't even care to look at longer than 5 minutes of the video.
Yeah.
It's pathetic, in my opinion. Yeah.
And I concur with Autumn. Like, she had very valid questions, and the way she was, like, forced off, you know, the U.S. atheist, I guess, the platform as one of being spokespersons is absolutely ridiculous. Just because she's asking questions doesn't... You can prove that her questions are stupid or something, like, then prove it. Then prove it. Like...
What? Sorry.
Go on.
What? I don't understand what the problem with having scrutiny on you is, unless you're doing something dodgy. You know, I think it's, like... Businesses should expect scrutiny, especially from people, especially non-profits, like, you know, because it's really important that their finances are looked at and that their ethics and the way that they, you know, code of conducts and stuff are looked at. It's really key. It's like, and that goes for private organizations as well. I don't understand why scrutiny is adverse unless there's something kind of that people don't want you to find out.
I agree, exactly. I also don't understand why. Like, David Worley hasn't said 2 words to me in ages. At all. So why is he going out of his way to stick his neck out for Randolph's shitty fucking little... Totally a group and not just him? Why is it Randolph that you're so big on defending? You didn't say shit when Randolph was accusing all of these people. You didn't say shit about the line. You haven't, like, he hasn't been around. He was offline for quite some time. So why is it he comes back and the first thing he does is dismiss me and Manya, who are like, hey, this is some bullshit that we're, like, why the fuck are you helping this guy who's accusing us of fucking murdering children? Like, what?
Clique. It's a clique. It's all like, oh, but I like this person. I'm not actually going to think about, you know, what they're saying or how they're behaving. It's just, yeah, mate, they're my buddy.
It's tribalism, yeah.
Yeah,
I was just disappointed.
It's like tribalism for, like, for some reason, wrong reasons. Like, you can use tribalism to your advantage. Like, you know, when you want to hold people accountable. This is for wrong. It just feels like, I don't know why, it's of misogyny for some reason. Feels of misogyny to me. Autumn is a woman who was questioning ACA. You're a woman who's questioning Randolph, and who comes to Randolph's rescue? A fucking man. I don't know why. It just feels like misogyny to me for some reason. I don't know. I might be wrong.
It's because of how dismissive it was. It might not actually have anything to do with gender. It's just because of how dismissive it was.
Like, and the language also, it just switches like silly, you know, and childish and all that shit. It just switches, and I'm just like, it's like they claim they have left the misogyny behind, but it's still embedded in them inherently, like, in the end.
I think I'd rather call it just prejudice, maybe minor sexism. I think misogyny is, like, a very powerful word.
Yeah,
I would agree with you on the sexist language if it weren't for the fact that they treat everybody that disagrees with them like this.
That's fair.
I would like to see more examples of that. Like, but it's like the language also the shift. Like, yeah, I might be using the wrong word of misogyny. Sexism, yeah. It just reeks of sexism to me for some reason, because who else has questioned till now Randolph or what's that guy's name? Matt Dillahunty. Fuck, I forgot his name.
Like, I think with certain folks, if their argument is weak, they will go for any weak point they see and not have any sort of moral quandary about it. That's what I'm seeing. If they will see any little chink in someone's armor, they will go for it.
Oh, I think
Yeah,
I
I
noticed.
feel like it's got less to do with gender and more to do with the idea that they think they can bully other people into submitting to their ideas, bad or not.
I think that there's also like a degree of like just with how much gets hurled at us, right? So you get like Randolph, who absolutely has been sexist towards me or Manya and other people, and then David Worley hops in with this infantizing or making it, you're talking like children, like this childish
Infantile.
language. Yes, and oh, my Discord broke. Hold on a second, everybody. Discord, why you do this? There we go. Patronizing is a good word. Sorry, my Discord hiccuped, so I've just got to reset us.
Yeah, no.
Because we deal with it so often and we see it so often, and it's part like this sexist language was already being used, and then even though David Worley might not have been part of that conversation, and he might not know that conversation was taking place, despite that he follows Randolph, you're not going to see everything that somebody does. Ignoring how pervasive this shit against like me and Manya and Steve, etc. has been, right? So this particular conversation he didn't see, but he's coming in with this language that is very similar to the same kind of, oh, well, what, like baddie switching to calling me little girl and stuff, right? It's the same, same, even though that wasn't his intention and he might not have been aware of that was going on, that might be why it sort of felt that way from him, even though that was not the intention.
And it's like, you claim to be people, or you claim to be part of the community that, looks into stuff and does their research before they, make any accusations or even any claims. But you're not doing that at all. Like when someone told you, oh, they're homophobic and shit, you just went with it, like because it suited you at that time, because you could deflect any criticism that was being put on you. Like,
it just it rubs people the wrong way, especially with it's how pervasive it is. Randolph isn't just some random I happen to decide to look into. This dude has been fucking coming at me sideways for like a year, because I'm associated with Steve, and Steve didn't even do anything to this guy either. Shocking. Wow, go fucking figure. And so
I honestly can't remember a single time I've heard Steve utter Randolph's name.
He's brought it up once or twice back when things first kind of went down, because Randolph was like, debate me about atheism, debate me about atheism, debate me about atheism. And Steve went, okay, I'll debate you about atheism, but I don't want to have the same conversation or get stuck in the same place that I did with Snake Was Right, because with Snake Was Right, they just went into the debate, he was expecting to be at this level, and they actually had to start from point one again. And so what he wanted to do was make sure he wasn't starting at point one again with Randolph, and said, okay, well, give me your sources and tell me what exactly we're going to be talking about, because I want to skip to that topic. I don't want to have to be educating somebody about the topic we're going to debate, right? And Randolph wouldn't do it. He wouldn't give him his sources, anything. And then he started lying and claiming that Steve was running from the debate and this, that, and the other thing. And then he started jumping on the rape apologetics train. And then he started jumping on the transphobia, homophobia, call anybody under the sun whatever you can, be a misogynistic prick train, right? For, I don't know, however long it's been, 9 months maybe. And so Steve talked about him when that happened, but other than saying that his philosophy is a joke and like rolling his eyes about it, he doesn't really talk about him. There's nothing to talk about. Oh, hey, Mr. Sirius. You snuck in here while I was fixing my stuff.
I'm a sneaky boy.
Hello.
Sneaky.
Has anyone here experienced ego death, or if they even know what that means?
Explain
What
it for
does
us.
that mean?
62 IQs.
So it's... Sorry, go on.
Yeah, I have. I took I don't know if it was total, but when I took 4 hits of pretty strong acid, I was definitely looking into the face of Azathoth, where everything was basically senseless.
Yeah, it's essentially the near complete or complete loss of subjective self-identity. So basically, not even knowing who you are anymore. And I experienced this going through my transition from theist to atheist over a number of years. Um, I lost myself essentially, and I had to put myself back together entirely into a completely different person as I was discovering um, the lies I've been brought up with and trying to reconstruct everything in my head to essentially see the world around me in a new light. And ever since then, I've tried to ditch as much as possible the whole groupthink idea because that's what got me into. It's what I was brought up with, and it turned out to be incorrect. I feel like these people have, at least for the ones that started as theists and then became atheists, didn't experience that and have instead just transferred their groupthink idea or like self-identity from one idea to another as opposed to actually transitioning, which I think requires at least some form of ego loss.
Listen, Rez, did you not read Randolph's website? There is no dogma in atheism.
I think that's probably quite a good shout though.
Mm-hmm.
I think in-group, out-group bias is like a really strong pull that loads of people feel for various reasons. And I think that lots of atheists, when they do become atheists, begin to see theists as an out-group, as the other. They have to alienate them in order to kind of like justify their new position. And I think that tends to lead into like kind of adopting the concepts that the group already has, the new group already has, in order to kind of make that an easier process. And they're not really. Yeah, go on. Sorry.
No, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Please.
Yeah, I think that it's just it's like it's an easy route for people to take, and it means that they don't have to kind of search too much for new ideas and new concepts because there's already established kind of stuff there, and the like people like the atheist community of Austin have a very good set of rules, or not rules, but like set of ideas that they then use in that sense. So I think you got nail on the head there, pretty much.
Well, I've noticed a little bit that the ACA and groups like these online communities actually prey on that a little bit. They prey on people who have been harmed by religious groups and sort of, instead of being helpful and sort of, I don't want to say deprogramming, but like maybe debriefing people on like giving them tools, they just try and shepherd them into a new thing as quickly as possible and be like, anybody who questions us is stupid and silly, and you're dumb. It's like, I feel like this is a legitimate question, though.
And I guess that's... Sorry, go on.
Yeah, I'll just get this out real quick. I feel like their current mentality is, oh, I was wrong then, but now I'm correct.
Yeah.
Instead of where I'm at is like, well, based on all the information at my disposal, I believe this, and I have to hope I'm right.
No, it's because they want to misrepresent.
I feel like they don't have that attitude.
Yeah, because they need to misrepresent what atheism actually is in philosophy so they can have more political numbers.
And I think the key to demonstrate this, like as evidence for this, is the whole burden of proof thing, because it's a lot easier to convince people that they hold a justified position if they then don't have to defend that position under scrutiny. Because if you can say, I don't have the burden of proof, you have to prove this, I lack a belief, etc., then it's an easy position to hold. But actually what you're doing is just kind of making your position unevident, like not evidenced, essentially.
Well, I mean, it also makes sense from a self-defensive position as well, because they don't want to admit that they have to look at their claim as a positive, because if they do that, then they have to evaluate the idea that they may be wrong if they evaluate their current position. And they don't want to do that because they've already been through understanding that they were wrong before, and it's traumatized them. And yeah,
I think that's why I was so ticked when it came to when it comes to like the line and it comes to that kind of a group, and with like people like David Worley, who have in the past, there are people who are part of the line who in the past made these great big call outs. We're humanists, help us take down this, like the pumpkin shit. Then there was like David Worley, hey, I'm being harassed by this group who's doing their atheist thing. Hey, can I get reaching out for like an outcry of support? And he got that outcry of support. But he's just completely just meh about like, oh, if it's not happening to you, it's not a problem then. Like, what? Really? This is the direction we're gonna go? This is what you've decided, this is the position you've decided to take? And I think that's what kind of miffed me the most about it. I was just like, wow, dude, really? Because it'd be one thing if he was like, what the fuck, I don't have time to watch your video. Can you give me like a TLDR? No, he turned it on for 5 minutes and then turned it off.
Again, because he doesn't want to actually have to evaluate his position in case he's wrong.
Well, it's not like but what would it have cost him? What does he have invested in fucking Randolph and Canadian atheists? I wasn't even questioning, the video wasn't even questioning their fucking philosophy. The video was like, your business is kind of sketch, dude.
A fellow man hath promote a fellow man and protect a fellow man, unless it's Steve.
But the thing was like, I was in this Twitter support group. Like, there was a Twitter group that Steve brought me into when I first started showing up and doing, like, this kind of content that was on Twitter, and, like, it had David Worley was in it, Neil was in it, Shannon Q was in it, and, like, and the whole idea was supposed to be a bunch of these creators who, if they were getting, like, false flagged or harassed by other people, they would have somebody to talk to, reach out, and then they could work together as a community to get away from that kind of harassment and kind of help the other person out. Well, as soon as I started getting fucking harassed, they were non-existent. They pretty much ignored me on the whole. And so I left the group because I'm like, I don't feel safe around these people. This is clearly bullshit. It almost felt like they wanted to know who was in shit, and so if they didn't like them, they'd have dirt. And so I was like, I don't trust any of this because I'm very cynical about trusting people on the internet, especially that I don't fucking know them. And then it, like, what happens next, right? Same shit. Why is David, it's just a bizarre thing to me. Why is David Worley investing in defending Canadian atheists? What does he have invested in there to make him want to do that? That's my big question. That he just completely dismisses and won't even watch the video. What, like, does he give them money? Has he been supporting them? I don't know. I don't know. It came out of nowhere.
I don't know, but it's like you don't want to investigate and you want to just come in and just I don't know, like, what authority does he even have if he hasn't watched your video to come in and just go, oh yeah, it was silly. He just watched 3 minutes of your video and decided it was silly. Like, on what authority? Are you a certified chartered accountant or something like that? So you said,
well, and it's that they call themselves humanists. It's that they call themselves humanists and they call themselves skeptics, and then if they're presented with even the slightest pushback, they just ignore it, brush it off, dismiss it, try to treat you like you're lesser than, and alienate people out. They're a bunch of bullies.
Yeah, they are. They're bully people who don't agree with them. It's like, I don't know who said it, like, yeah, Red said it, like, it's like, oh yeah, we were wrong then, we are right now, and we are absolutely right. There's no chance that we can be wrong now.
It's dogma, but on the other side.
That's exactly
The only thing that has changed for them is the sides. They have not done the needed changing and growing in the transition from one to the other, they have simply hopped the fence. That is it.
So they can feel like they're morally and intelligently superior to other people. I'll be back in 1 second, guys. Don't get me banned.
By the way, that's exactly what theists think about non-theists.
No, the one thing that I've noticed with this is it seems to me like they're always acting more out of spite than out of reason. Like,
yeah.
most of the time I'm
Again,
watching these people, they're trying to do something like a gotcha or look at this idiot or and they're not really ever arguing anything. They're just throwing insults and laughing at people.
I mean, insert 99% of theist arguments here. Like, it's the exact same attitude. The
Insert
only thing that's
99%
changed
of
is the
atheist
side.
arguments are also.
Yeah,
It's like-
what I'm saying is they're no different than your average theist dogmatic like argumenter. Like, there is nothing different. The only thing that is different is the side. That's it. Because these people haven't done the necessary growing and changing from one to the other. They've just simply hopped the fence, and the dogma has changed position as opposed to getting rid of it entirely.
I think the difference is that they'll do all this like bloviating about like I mean, I hear this a lot more from the atheist side than like the religious side, is where they'll be like, here's kind of arguments you look for, like when you look for like emotional arguments and stuff like that, like that's how you can like find like weaknesses in somebody's argument, and then they'll do the same things, but then they'll suddenly just think that they're just like free and clear to do it because, you know, I taught you guys about emotional arguments before, so I'm allowed to do it because, you know, I know about it, so I can do it all I want. You know what I mean? So like the teacher can do emotional arguments all day.
Yeah.
Because, you know, they do a lecture about emotional arguments, so they're just allowed to do it all day. You can't call them out because, you know, they do the lecture.
Just hyperbolic, and they feel justified to do it.
And they feel like they're an authority.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, what authority does Randolph Richardson have? Well, I'm the president of Canadian Atheists. He's literally running around your communities being like, I'm important because I'm the president of Canadian Atheists, which is a bullshit thing I made up and I'm the only one fucking in it. And you're listening to him and you're promoting him. Like, are you kidding?
Was there an election? Was there some kind of decision-making process here? Or did you just go, I'm the president?
Joke's on this guy. He should know there's no presidents in Canada at all. They're banned. They're not allowed in anything. Fucking king of Slurpees over here fucking trying to tell me what my fucking political beliefs ought to be.
The authority he has is that of a scam artist. I'm sorry, that's exactly what he is, because that is the only reason you would pull this shit.
Why are you apologizing for that?
Wait a second. Have you seen his academic resources?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you mean himself?
You mean his own blog? That he presents like it's an academic source?
That's actually
First
like
time I heard about him, I compared him to Mr. Intelligent Design as a joke.
No.
But he is literally Mr. Intelligent Design of atheism, where he's just like, I'm the only one capable of being my own thing, so I'm peer reviewing myself.
Mr. ID is smarter than this.
Sorry, bearded heretic, what you were gonna say?
I was just gonna say that I think that's like an issue that's like kind of deep within online atheist conversation as well. Though it's like this whole if I don't agree with it, then that thing must be wrong. Like there was a conversation. I mean, I don't know how many of you guys saw this, but it blew up pretty big about religion as a mental illness. On my Twitter,
I saw you talking about that. Yeah.
You know, I was telling people I have a master's degree in psychology. I know I've worked in a mental health board for a number of years, and I've worked in mental health for like 6 years now. And I was saying, like, you know, this is what a delusion is, this is what hallucination is, and they were like, they were basically questioning my credentials because they didn't want to believe what I had to say because it disagreed with their idea. And it's exactly this is what you were just saying about Randolph Richardson linking to his own sources. It's exactly the same thing, and people think that they know things that they don't know, and that it's just a big issue, I think, in the atheist community, because people talk about being critical thinkers and about being skeptics and stuff like that, but then when they're presented with new information that's accurate and scientific and stuff like that, they don't take it on because it doesn't match with their perspective on what it
it's
should
dogmatic. And they belittle anybody who says otherwise. Like, they go out, like, if you want Randolph as an example, he goes out of his way to belittle and slander Steve, who says something that is academically sourced by Steve, and he's citing himself. And the atheist community, this group of activists, are supporting this person. That's why this is why I take issue and why I was so, like, blindsided by David Worley. I was like, what? Are you serious? Are you for real? You clearly do not know what's been going on, and that's me being charitable. I'm assuming that you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. But now I understand that because of what he had said. Well, I didn't watch the video, I only watched 5 minutes. You don't know what's going on because you've chosen to not know what's going on.
It's willful ignorance, and
exactly.
I hate that.
Exactly.
It's like, oh no, I didn't see this person. No, I'm just supporting this person. I had no idea that they were accusing you of being a rape apologist. You'd think that as a humanist activist community or a skeptic community, they would be skeptical or maybe take issue with people just making arbitrary bullshit claims about other people seriously, at least a little bit seriously, or is it because, like, I'm not crying in front of the camera over it, I don't matter as much.
But they will Chesh, but only if it's people that they support. That's the problem, you know. They if it was someone that they liked and someone made an accusation about them,
if I agreed with them,
like, I need evidence.
It's they only like you if you agree with them, too, which is another problem.
The more I think about this, the more you can really sum up all of these people's actions, not just Randall Richardson, like all the idiots we've had to deal with over the years, is groupthink gone wrong.
Oh yeah, big time gone wrong.
And it's not exclusive to the non-theist community. Again, you can transfer all these exact problems over to the theist communities, and I don't know, this whole idea that the group you're currently a part of can never be wrong, no matter what they do,
or any individual
unless it starts to affect you, at which point you defend yourself against them. But
yeah, that was the thing that got me with
because
that's the thing that got me with David. He made such a big fucking stink about this atheist group in the UK that was giving him a hard time and looking for support, and he got that support. A fucking atheist group giving other people a hard time and being sketchy in their activism and in their atheism gets called out, and he blinders. Oh, because it's not you. Because it's not you're not the one getting accused of murdering children, right?
I was just like, it's so blatantly dishonest of Randolph. I was just checking his website for his references and sources, and again, you know, it led to that page that he created himself with all the links. The first two links, they say definition of atheism, Oxford English Dictionary, October 13. You would think that it would lead you to the Oxford Dictionary's website. It does not. It leads to a lexico.com website where conveniently the definition is what they want it to be.
And it's cherry picked.
Yeah. It's like it's powered by Oxford, but it's not actually Oxford Dictionary. So I'm like, how dishonest do you have to be? Like, check out the Oxford Dictionary definition and you will know what it is. You know, it's absolutely crazy, like, how dishonest it is. And it's like you're linking your own pages as references. Like, how, like, if someone did something like this in a paper.
Anne's in the chat is saying someone needs to find out whether having a single PO box for more than one business is actually criminal in Canada or not. Bearded Heretic, would you be so kind as to read us out again what it was exactly that you had found?
Yeah, just give me 2 ticks.
Yeah, take your time, good sir, take your time. Because it certainly doesn't go over the entirety of the law in regards to whether or not it would be criminal, or whether or not it's just like against the rules for a PO box.
Yeah,
but
it says a
it's
PO
certainly
box
telling.
cannot be used as the official address for your business when it comes to filing paperwork, or as a searchable location listing in Google.
So he's at least working against the terms of service, I guess, for a PO box. I don't know whether he's listed that for any of his tax stuff, but he has listed it as his personal address. He's also listed it as... Imagine listing your personal address as a fucking 7-Eleven.
I'm getting what appears to be conflicting information on the surface. Some people seem to be saying you can, and some people are saying you can't, but it seems like the distinction there is whether or not multiple businesses can use the same PO box versus uses the same PO box for official matters regarding the business. So I don't know if there's a distinction there that yes they can, but not for official business regarding the business itself. I don't know. That seems a bit weird.
I imagine it would really apply to listing because documentation is a big part of auditing. So legislation-wise, I would imagine if you could find it, it's about what they're labeling on their invoices, on their bills, on their receipts, all that kind of stuff, auditing-wise.
There is also there's a difference between your mail intake and your actual business. Because I don't know Canadian corporations, but I do know at least in United States, corporations will join together for like mail intake in areas where they may not have a physical location, or they may not have a lot of spaces. Like small towns will have just one spot. Like all of your insurance people will have like the same thing, and then it's attention so and so.
They'll all go to the same like mailbox to get. Okay, so I mean, I can understand that from a logistical standpoint, but Richmond, BC is a large town. Richmond, BC is not like nowhere. That is a large area. There's also this issue with if they're taking, because I think there probably is going to be a bit of an issue between donations and profit, right? And so because there's no actual showing of any of this information, because there's not multiple groups that are going through and checking that are against each other. Right? This is not like, oh, there's two separate businesses that have made an agreement to make sure they both get their own mail, where they're both going to make sure they both get that mail, right? It's important. To one guy running multiple businesses and that money going to Canadian Atheist and then him opening it, taking the cash out and using it somewhere else.
Absolutely. I reckon, I mean, this is just an assumption, but I can't imagine with him using multiple PO boxes to a 7-Eleven, him just picking it up. I'm wondering what his accounting looks like, because that's going to be messy as hell.
Yeah, no doubt.
Listen, it is possible that, you know, he never got too many donations, and so he thinks that there's not too much to show in his financial, but I think so that it's the principle in the end, whether if you're even getting $10, right, are you using it for your other businesses or / endeavors, or okay, even if you used it for food, I'm fine with it. You know, you needed money, you used it for food, but do it the right way, the way it's supposed to be done, the way the funds are supposed to be handled, and how it's like when, you know, when people go after Steve, right, for his GoFundMe's and shit, right? They're like, how are we supposed to know this and that? It's the donate. I guess it would be the people who donate to Steve who are in a place to ask that question. Over here, I guess I don't know if people have donated. They should be asking this question. And all we can say is that, as far as we know, Steve is always forthcoming about his information when asked privately. Don't know that about Randolph. So far,
we all know. It's been demonstrated that Randolph's a piece of shit.
Yeah, so they haven't been
People started asking him about this, and he blocked them. On the other hand, though, two things. One, Steve isn't a business. Steve is an individual. Two, Steve was going through GoFundMe, so if you want to know if ask questions or anything, GoFundMe has rules. So you can go through that to get most of your FAQ stuff answered, right?
Yeah.
Now, the other one is, because, like, Steve used a site that is designated for stuff like that. But in this case, you've got a situation where you've got a YouTube channel that has 604 atheist or whatever, Neil, doing a channel to show that they're building the Canadian atheist headquarters, right? So presumably they're taking donations for that through this same medium, right?
Oh, they thank people for the donations during the video.
So you've
Do
got
people get receipts?
Good question. Do they?
Because you should be able to get a receipt for a donation so you can go towards your own tax. I don't know how it works in Canada, but I know that's how it works in Australia. If you make a donation, you should be getting a receipt.
Yeah, especially if you're going to a non-profit. One of the things that you'll notice that I'm gonna go out and hazard a guess, Helios, you can tell me if I'm right or wrong. They don't say that they can't give non-taxable receipts or tax refundable receipts during their videos, do they?
Nothing that I saw.
Because on the website for Canadian Atheists, because it is not a non-profit, they can't give receipts that are non-taxable or tax rebatable or whatever.
Actually, going to lead into my next question. I was going to say, how do you become a non-profit, and how do you display that on websites or any documentation that you have that because if you're going to be accepting donations and people need to know what they need to do with their tax, obviously there needs to be some kind of process there.
The answer is you don't. You're just giving them money. Don't. If you want a receipt, they say you can get one, but it's not a tax deductible one because they're a business. But they're very unclear about it. That's what it says. I'm making
dodgy.
it a little bit.
You should be able to confirm it by going to a website, official Canadian government website, and looking up their certificate of incorporation.
There you go.
But
we did that. Go figure.
My thing is that if they are a business, what services are they providing for the money people are giving them? And then also you have to give the people a receipt of the services you provide. Like, for example, Patreon, right? They give you a receipt at the end of the day of the services you have received. So are they giving receipts to people, and what commodity are they selling through this business? That's the question.
It's services, yeah.
Yeah.
And are they deducting are they paying any taxes?
Do they have anybody that's working for them? Apparently they have a whole fraud prevention legal team, allegedly.
To be completely honest, you don't really need to provide a service if you're a business. You just need to have people that are willing to send you money. There are people that sell air or sell spots on the moon that you can own, and that are legitimate businesses but don't do anything.
There's also a difference between he's going to have to somehow track the donations and track the membership money separately. One as a donation, one as profit. And then also, because everything is going to the same fucking P.O. box, he's the only person who's auditing that all of those places, or all that money, or all those donations, or all those memberships are all actually going to the right business or right area they're supposed to be going. How does Neil know that if somebody donates through the channel that he's on to Northern Talk, Does he know that that money is actually going back into Northern Talk? And how does he know that? How do we know he's not a victim here?
So I just posted something to Chesh. I'm not sure if she's checked it out yet, but I also posted it in the voice channel. And it's regarding not-for-profit businesses in Canada. And according to qualified for being a not-for-profit in Canada, one of the obligations is that you must file public financial documents that are available to the public.
Which he would not be able to use the P.O. box for.
That, and it means that any and all financials regarding any donations received for that business must be available to the public.
However, they are
as
not a non-profit. They only act like and present themselves as if they're a non-profit.
Which would be illegal.
No, it's sketchy. It's dodgy. It's not totally illegal. The thing is like you have to say that you're for profit, and the website does say that. It's just buried. It's just sketchy.
It should still get audited, I reckon, because that's dodgy.
And then there still has it's normal to be audited regularly as a business. So.
Oh yeah, if he got audited for either of those businesses, he'd probably be fucked.
Well, I don't know. Does TNT, like the Talk Northern show, does that also count as its own business? Is it registered as? It might not be registered. It might not be big enough to have bothered.
Really ask them to change a lot of things before they'd actually do anything legal.
I just think it's sketchy for a business to ask for donations when you're pretending and presenting yourself and trying to ingratiate yourself with the other non-profit communities, as well as you don't say what your memberships are for or what you get for them. You don't have anything listed about what your what you're providing to your community or what your activism actually is actively doing. But believe it or not, being an activist means you're doing something. You're not just on Twitter calling people rape apologists, asshole.
This is what I was confused on. Chesh, didn't the UFO group straight up say it was a not-for-profit?
Yes. Yeah, right at the front. Yes, it did.
Which would be a false statement. Which would be fraud.
I don't know. Maybe they're properly registered. I don't know. The thing is I don't know if Randolph is part of the UFO Center. I just know that they use the same fucking address and P.O. box. That's all the information I was able to find. Now, to be fair, I guess there's a CCTV camera right outside. It looks like there's like a camera right outside that place. I don't know if somebody wanted to scope through all the footage, if it's available. Let's see. Let me just double check the UFO thing here. I'm
gonna say bye. I gotta go shopping, so I'll see you all later.
Enjoy your shopping. Thanks for coming by. We'll talk to you later.
I'll be back. Bye. I have to go eat.
Enjoy your food. Let me see. Related
It'd be
to
interesting
phenomenon.
to see if he's the only one that ever accesses that PO box as well.
So, okay. Here's the thing. The website does not say that UFOcenter.com is a not-for-profit. It says the Federation of Universal Species, which they're trying to join, is a joint cooperative non-profit group.
Which still wouldn't be the case.
Joined yet, was it?
Which sounds sketchy as fuck. I mean, I do have a PayPal, but whatever. Don't forget to like and share this video. I'm so sick of it. I'm so sick of the bullshit pretend activist, performative atheist community. They're a bunch of fucking... It's just garbage. It's just all garbage. What the fuck is Negative Exponents doing here? I just noticed
Yeah,
him.
I noticed that as well.
Dude, fuck off. I don't have time for your shit right now. I'm busy. Busy with another asshole's bunch of garbage.
To be fair, he hasn't been a shit yet.
I asked him like if he has got something for us. Or
Him
not, so I'm
existing in my side chat is him being a shit, and he knows it.
So yeah, I'm going to ask him, have you presented proof of your claims against Shesh yet?
I feel like he should probably go deal with his transphobic buddy Trio Monkey.
And Paul,
he ought to be busy too. I'd rather you didn't say hi. It's kind of harassing at this point. I'm not interested in talking to you, and you know that. There's no reason for you to be here. And you have me blocked on everything else, so... And you're making accusations about me threatening people, so yeah, no, just saying hi in this case is inappropriate.
Yeah.
Where's my video?
Yeah. Here, talk to Mr. Serious. Go for it, Mr. Serious. You have fun.
How many fucking months have we been waiting for that fucking video that never happened?
Yeah, negative exponents. Where's my video? Where's my video on Chesh that you promised me within 24 hours? Where's that at? I wanted it. You promised me it. You like promised me.
It's like he expects us to just forget whatever fucking garbage comes out of his mouth and just like, oh yeah, he's saying hi, negative, you're so shit.
Did he forget there's a 16-hour stream VOD on Chesh's channel waiting for that very video?
Oh, that was a different video. This is a new one.
A
new one. Oh!
Yeah. You're not on Twitter, so you don't know. He made an accusation that
I did the smart thing. I got the fuck off of Twitter.
That's very good that you've done.
You ain't wrong.
So he claimed that Shesh threatened someone with physical violence. I think that's what the claim was. Correct me if I'm wrong. And then Mr. Sears was like, "Okay, show us." And he was like, "Oh yeah, I'm somewhere. I'll come back. We'll take 45 minutes for me to put together all that bitch. We'll be done in an hour or so." And then now it's how many weeks now? I think so. Why he comes in here is he wants to derail our conversation. So I think it's best we just ignore him.
Sounds like he wants to distract people from talking about Randolph Richardson's fucking sketchy ass bullshit. Then, surprise, surprise.
Yeah.
Tell you what. I'm gonna do negative exponents a solid. I just added the websites to the description of my latest video. You're welcome. You now have an actual something that might be sketchy as fuck that you can look into for whether or not it's okay to have donations and whether or not an actual fraud has taken place. You're welcome. You can go and take that back to Unirock. Go to your little corner over there.
Yeah, you would think that if Unirock is really into looking into, fundraisers and shit, he would look into, this one too. So.
Oh, hey, it's really interesting that despite me saying I'm not interested in him being here and that his presence is not welcome, he's still going. Because he just ignores.
Yeah, get the fuck out of here after that one. Jesus Christ. He was just asked did you learn how to read GoFundMe's terms of service yet? And he said, not yet. Fucking sarcastic motherfucker. Get the fuck out of here.
Or harassing yet, say it ain't so, not yet.
Yeah, it's like he knows that he has made accusations and he doesn't care that he makes accusations and then he runs away. And then he never presents any proof. He's a troll, that's what I'm saying. He's a troll.
Have this conversation in here. He wants us to talk about him, and he wants us to be able to, he thinks that it's appropriate for the people he's making false accusations about are supposed to just accept his presence around them, and if they don't, they're the wrong people. They're the bad people because they don't want to listen to me. Oh my god, they're blah 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 blah. They've run away from me. Blah 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 blah. Dude, what? You're a joke. You're a fucking clown.
Yeah. As an Australian, I find your inappropriate use of sarcasm offensive. Get the fuck out.
Everybody learns this lesson about negative exponents eventually in their lives, just like every entire girl in high school. Just ignore him.
Well, the question is it fair to ask people to ignore the people harassing them?
Well, yeah.
Situationally.
But, well, yeah. I mean, I agree with that, but he's he specifically he's kind of what do you call it? He's a pissant. I don't think his.
Oh yeah, yeah. There's no reason for me to spend my time bothering with negative exponents. Like realistically, there's not even really much of a reason for me to bother with Unirock. But if I'm not gonna bother with Unirock, why would I bother with negative exponents? Let's be real here. If we're talking about the hierarchy of morons.
Negative exponents really is the definition of a dickless wonder.
I mean, he literally has nothing to offer anyone ever, like in the history of anything.
I think so. We should
Anyway,
come back on that topic. With,
that's enough time spent on that fuckwit.
Moving on.
Moving on.
So I don't know. I'm just so sick and tired and done with like the online atheist community. I don't want anything to do with any of them whatsoever. I just rather it's just they're drama for the sake of drama, pretending and performative in activism, while they just ignore it if it doesn't happen to them.
Yeah, it's all about convenience for them. It's like as soon as it starts inconveniencing them, they will be like, but look at that, and then they run away.
Yeah, I find it highly offensive that these people only stop supporting these fuckers after they get targeted.
Right.
And suddenly they're the victim. It's like, get fucked. You saw the writing on the wall and you chose to ignore it.
I don't expect everybody to care about every single thing, though. Right? Like, you can't expect, like, me or Steve or Manya or you, anybody to get involved, because there's also a difference between getting involved and supporting and calling out behavior. You can't expect everyone to do everything, right? And they're not going to, and they can't be expected to. But to go out of your way to defend is another, and to go out of your way to support, right, is a whole other thing, right?
It's like
there's a difference between
right. He came in and he defended Richardson, and you're like, okay, now you stepped into the shit. How about cleaning it up, or are you planning to walk all over my carpets with that shit?
There's a difference between not having enough time of the day to give a fuck and being willfully ignorant in order to excuse behavior.
Yep.
That you would definitely be opposed to if it was happening to you.
Right. That's what I have a little bit of a higher expectation for somebody who claims to be an activist. If you claim to be an activist, like, your thing is to get involved. That's the point. That's what you're doing. That's why you call yourself an activist. You're active. You're actively involved yourself in these sorts of things. And so that's why I don't call myself an activist. I don't consider myself an activist because I don't do anything. I hang out on the internet and point out bullshit when I see bullshit. But it's part of my job. It's not.
I mean, there's a term we have for these very people. It's called slacktivists.
Ooh, I like that. Slacktivists.
That term has existed for a long time now.
I have never heard that before, and I'm here for it.
There are good atheists online though. Just saying.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, okay. Let me be clear. I'm talking about the community on a whole. There's a difference between individuals. I absolutely love Answers in Reason. I love that channel. They're fantastic over there. Everybody over there is great. I don't think I've ever seen anybody who's like heavily involved with that show or like involved with the people over there that I've been like, ugh.
I guess that's kind of my point, though. I think that's growing. I think that a lot of people are seeing the same thing that we're seeing, Josh, with the community and what the flaws with it and stuff like that. And I do think that there's a growth in like the kind of attitude that Answers in Reason is trying to foster. They're getting a lot of love, and I think that it's good. But obviously, there's still a lot of work to be done. There's a lot of and I think that it's really important that stuff gets called out and stuff gets analyzed and scrutinized, because otherwise it's just not going to change. But I think that things are starting to change now, and that's like what we're discussing today, and what Answers of Reason have discussed in the past, and what I've discussed in the past is all part of that process.
Yeah, no, absolutely. You have to have these kinds of conversations with people who are going to be reasonable about those kinds of conversations and not just be dismissive about what problems exist, right?
Yeah, and it's like, I think it's we see, like, I've certainly seen a few people. I think Notes from Autumn's one of them, actually, and another person called Brina, who
I saw Brina's stuff. Brina I enjoy. Yeah. Katie Daisy I've really enjoyed, although I don't know if she's an atheist or not, but she's I think that it might just be better off to stop trying to group people as atheists. Is there really that much of a point in having an atheist community? I think it's good to have atheist individuals and atheist-based channels, but at what point is it actually useful to be a group of atheists, or is it more beneficial to be a group of humanists that some of them are atheists, some of them are Christian, and some of them are prominent about their atheism, and sometimes they're discussing why their atheism is what has driven them towards being activists.
Yeah, I mean, I think I agree. I think we've had a similar discussion in the past. I think that it's about, like, people just shouldn't think that they need to be part of a group because they have one thing in common, but like there could be multiple atheist groups that have different views that can live cut like at the same time, and then not be this like battle about what atheism's this, no, atheism's this, which seems to be what's happening, and it's like, what the hell? And that's like the crux of the issue with Randolph, is that, you know, you like, you'll be in the middle of a thread about, and then he'll just randomly pop up and be like, you're wrong about this thing, and it's like, what? Why are you commenting? Like, it wasn't even about that. And it's frustrating.
I mean, Chesh is correct. The outside of philosophical debate and philosophical topics, there really is no practical application of assigning yourself or others as, you know, atheist, theist, agnostic,
depends on
etc.
if you're depends on if you're Randolph. Do you remember on his site he's like, no, atheist doctors are generally better. I don't know how the hell you measure that, but okay.
Yeah, that is not something you can really quantify in a very reliable way, but it's like, outside of those topics, it's really not a very valuable thing to call yourself. Unless you're trying to belong to a group. Unless you're trying to hang on to that groupthink, that clique, that tribalism, whatever you want to call it. It's just another way of trying to fit in. It's not valuable.
I'm going to disagree with you, I'm afraid.
That's fine.
And that's because the reason I'm disagreeing isn't because I don't understand where you're coming from, because I totally do. I think it's more because of the overwhelming like hold that like religiosity has, especially in like North America. It can be quite isolating to be an atheist in a community, like a real community of people. And I think that there's a lot of things you lose when you lose your religion, in terms of like community, your understanding of like all the comfort around having your loved ones still be present after they've passed away, stuff like that. And I think that what the community needs to do is actually be a support structure, rather than it be a community that's like there to
it shouldn't be an evangelical
theism.
It shouldn't be an evangelical community.
Yeah,
it should
exactly.
be a community of exactly.
Yeah.
I would say that there's the thing that this is what I've noticed about the community, the atheist community in Austin. They're very aggressive. But part of the reason they're aggressive is because they're in fucking Texas. And Texas is aggressive. So it makes sense. But the thing is that they lash out. They're not selective about where they lash out. And because they're not selective about where they lash out, it makes them look like a bunch of assholes. But at the same time... Sorry, go ahead.
I think with a lot of these black theists, like, you know, we're well aware that they mostly due to lack of belief, I don't have the burden of proof. Not because that they aren't really atheists, because I think a lot of them are. They really do think that there are no gods, and they're really anti-theists because they think that religion is bad. But they don't really want to like defend that because it's like hard work.
That's
it's
more
like they got to do
difficult.
homework and shit.
Yeah, you have
But
to
I
actually
actually
learn
think
something.
that
I have to justify
Yeah, but
my
I actually-
position. Oh, whoa, me.
I actually think it's good to, if you're anti-theist, which I am, to not just be a support group and, help people who on their own sort of wander away from theism, but actually say why you think theism is bad. Like, spread the news, spread, be evangelical.
I think that there's a
spread the good word.
difference.
Yeah,
I think
yeah,
there's a difference between something along the lines of like, hey, we're going to try to convince people to be atheists, but we're going to try to convince people to be atheists by saying that there's no reason to be an atheist. It's like, wait,
Yeah,
hold on, what?
That's exactly it. That's spot on. Yeah, and it's the thing is, like, I feel like if they stopped with that kind of approach and they actually started saying, look, actually atheism can you can still have a purpose even though you're an atheist, or you can still have good
that community,
morals,
build up that support system, that community that you lose if you
and you'll get more
religion,
people coming, because then they'll be like, well, there's no reason for me to go to church anymore because I don't need it for this community. I don't need it for community. I don't need it for hope or purpose or comfort. Like,
that's why I think they'd be better off. I think they'd be better off making more like, instead of focusing on the atheism part of resources and community, focus on the secular humanist part. Because if you focus on the secular humanist part, you don't have to alienate agnostics. You can just be like, hey, non-theist people are welcome here, but we also don't like shit on people for no reason. But then you can still say, like, hey, we are atheists, and here's why, but focus on atheism on the individual and smaller support groups, rather than trying to build this juggernaut of a political group, which is a whole different problem.
Absolutely. But that's just... Sorry, go on.
It's just like, yeah, I kind of agree with Smitty. I'm also on the lines of that. I'm kind of against the organized theism, if I might say, the mega churches and stuff. I truly believe that, religion can bring communities together and stuff, which is fine by me. Oh shit, did I go away? No.
No, you're good.
No, we got you.
My computer took a shit for a minute. Sorry, my bad. Brain fart. My computer had a brain fart. So I kind of believe in that yes, religion can be good in that sense. And I personally believe that atheism hasn't been able to come up to that level of organized support system that religion does provide, especially Christianity at the moment.
This is where you get in problems, right? You get in problems like Randolph Richardson. If you've got these activist people that are trying to utilize their atheism to push for whatever activist position they've taken, which is very unclear in atheism. Atheism isn't about like your political stance. Atheism isn't about whether or not you think these people should have these rights or these people shouldn't have these rights, or this is too far or that's too far. It's not about that. You can have those conversations, and your atheism might inform what your political stance might be about something or another. But just like with Christianity, just like with Islam, you're going to get people who interpret something one way, interpret something another way, have these values or not have these values, or have values in a different area entirely. So if theism focuses on theism and atheism focuses on atheism, and both succeed in working together in the direction of what is good for people, that's where you've got your political stances.
Yeah,
not
exactly.
within the actual religion.
They both...
Yeah, and I think
they
that's
both
where
think the other is
atheism
bad for
has
people.
gone wrong.
Well, in some cases, religion is bad for people, and same with atheism is sometimes bad for people. I mean, you hear people say, like, oh, if it wasn't for my religion, I'd go murder people. Well, if that's actually true, good, keep your religion. Good, have it. I guess.
I don't know if I believe that.
I think it's usually hyperbolic, but...
It's like wherever something is organized, there's always room for abuse of that organization in some way and possible. We are clearly seeing it with the atheist community of Austin. Like, how many of their original members are there in it anymore? None, because they've had disagreements on how things, and there have been some instances of abuse of power, especially board of members' power within the community, and you know, and they have been like, you know, kind of abused out of that, you know, organization, those people. So there's always this room, and you have to recognize that's what where I agree with Shesh on this. There's, if the common goal is good of people, whether you achieve it through religion or through atheism or agnosticism or anti-theism, that doesn't matter. It's like one thing will work for someone, the other thing will not, unless you start dictating what someone should do based on your personal beliefs. That's entirely something else. Then that's where the problem comes in with the abortion laws and stuff and Roe v. versus Wade, because it's all about, is it about autonomy, small government and shit, or is it about religious stances and whatever? So yeah.
Why is there a political group in Texas talking about the fucking definition of atheism instead of talking about the absolute travesty that is their abortion rights right now?
Yeah, they should be a secularist group if they're going to be
I
political.
I didn't see anything, not a single one of them on The Line or any of those shows talking. I talked about it before they did. How the fuck does that happen?
It's like what Streamlabs did with OBS.
Uh-oh, I gotta hear that one.
Oh, OBS and OBS and...
So OBS is an open source software. So Streamlabs, what they have been doing for such a long time, they have been taking over open source softwares and rehashing them and creating subscription services for themselves and their profit. And now finally it's coming out, oh, Streamlabs is actually shit. They don't have anything original of their own. Okay, bye-bye.
And they're marketing and they're taking branding from other groups.
Yeah,
I've been telling people that for
and coding
years.
And shit.
Oh, by the way, guys.
Yes.
Look at my camera. I found Unirock's van.
Oh, you're... Oh.
Joke's on you. That dude there's no way that dude has a van. There's no way.
And free candy? Really? I don't think so. He has...
No, of course he does the can. Of course he doesn't have the candy. I'm just saying, like, I don't think there's any way he has a van.
Yeah,
like, doesn't he have like some kind of?
The candy van never has candy.
He has some kind of. But he's got some kind of driving thing, right? Like he can't drive, and having to be able to afford a van is kind of a bit of a chore.
I didn't say he was driving it. It is parked there.
Oh, fair enough. Fair enough. The problem is when you get things like, you get activist groups. So you get The Line. The Line is presented as if they're a bunch of activists and they're getting together doing these call-in shows to talk about these things to bring awareness, right? Like, that's their thing. And then they've got a guy who's like, oh, come on, when I was a cop, you didn't find that guy in that guy's pocket. Why are you bullshitting me? Because, you know, when I was a cop, I was doing that shit too. I knew all the tricks. I was doing that shit too.
I'm kind of finding...
He's your activist? He's your go-to? Okay.
I'm kind of afraid of something that's happening on YouTube also, if I may dare say. There's this community of lawyers that is coming up, and I'm afraid that they are very good at swaying public opinion about court cases and stuff. We have seen the the role they played in the Rittenhouse case, and these are like a bunch of them, like 8 or 9 of them, who always come together, sit down and look at these trials and give their expert opinion, I guess. And I'm kind of beginning to I'm kind of like scared that there might this particular bunch of lawyers might become the gatekeepers of information that goes into the community, or what a community should hold a stance as in, you know, any court case. So I'm kind of seeing this monopoly being developed with these particular set of lawyers on YouTube, and I'm kind of scared like that might happen. I don't know how much.
I mean, to be fair, that's actually the same. It's very similar to what happened with the atheist communities, right? Like there were atheists that started coming up in YouTube. It got popular, and then they started gatekeeping that if you didn't agree with them, you wouldn't grow as a channel. I don't know.
I'm not saying that they shouldn't do what they're doing. They're at their liberty to do whatever they want, but it kind of is looking like gatekeeping of information and influencing public opinion. For example, when a jury selection is done, if these lawyers are already there on YouTube reading these, filings and shit and giving their personal opinion, and there's one of their viewers who gets selected for a jury for a particular case that they have given their opinion on, it's kind of indirectly influencing the jury for me. I don't know, it might be a big stretch, but that's what I'm like. Gatekeeping.
That'd be like a bit of a problem to be like, well, you're not allowed to watch the news either, right? Like,
Well, I mean, like, cases like this that get this blown up in the media have always been approached from all sides, from a very emotional point of view. There is very little in the way of coverage that is more about the facts of the case and a more analytical point of view. In fact, the only person I've seen do that for Rittenhouse case in particular is Destiny. He's the only one who looked at the facts of the case and got everything down right to a T.
Yeah, fair.
So
there's a big difference between like what, again, there's a line there. It's the same with Randolph. There's a line there between whether or not what's being done is within the letter of the law and whether or not whatever's being done is actually ethical or sketchy, right?
Yeah, and also like you have these lawyers who are sitting there and giving their opinion. How competent are they? What experience do they have with similar cases that they can just sit there and give their opinion? That's what my concern is about, the level of experience.
That's what being a skeptic is about, though, right? Like, if you've got a skeptical community, then they're going to think about things on their own, no matter who's giving what opinion. I can understand a little bit of where your concern is coming from, but they're talking about public cases, too, though, right?
Yeah.
And as long as they're talking about public cases, they're not going to be able to really gatekeep any kind of information. They just might gatekeep, like, quote-unquote credibility.
Yeah.
Which won't last. Shit like that does not last, especially if you have Nate hanging out with you.
Yeah.
It's not gonna come
Someone
on.
who graduated in 2019 with just 2 years of experience and decides that they're competent enough to give opinion on public criminal cases. Okay, cool. That's what my concern.
Everybody's allowed to have their opinion. It's just a matter of not all opinions are equal.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm gonna have to go, I'm afraid, Chesh. But it's been a pleasure.
Yeah, come and hang out with me on Saturday or sometime. We'll work out a time because I really want to ask you about that list of diagnoses.
That's interesting for me. I like psychology, you know that, so...
Yes,
Nice.
I look forward to that. That'll be really interesting, so please
That's one.
hit me up.
As he leaves, I come back.
Hey, welcome back, Healers.
Bye!
Bye!
Bye.
Go sub to Bearded Heritage channel.
Do that.
I don't know. I'm glad I was able to keep that video about Canadian atheist on at the 30-minute mark.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good. It's good for people who just say, "Oh yeah, I didn't watch it after 3 minutes and I declared it was silly." Okay.
I
cool.
wanted
Here's a 30
to.
minute video.
I kind of wanted to. I could have done it in a video format and scripted it and probably gotten it to maybe 10 minutes long, but I wanted to do it live. I wanted to show people what I was looking at and where I was clicking and how I was getting from point A to point B.
Yeah. No, it's good. 30 minutes is way better. It's good for people who have short attention span and stuff. 30 minutes is fine, I think. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know how you get past the... Oh, I turned off, it showing the list of things, which he's not allowed to do, apparently. And a 7-Eleven name shows up. It's oh, okay. Cool.
It is. It's 7-Eleven, and I'm like, what?
Yeah, and anybody can go and do it themselves. The links are in the description. The what I clicked on and where I clicked on it. I put the address in the description too, so people can just go and look.
I just typed Canadian atheist, like,
Yep.
like, was it Richmond or something, and then that's it, and that's 7-Eleven. That's what pops up. And I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Listen, I can get it that maybe 7-Eleven has like a back storeroom or something that these guys might be using to, like, you know, hold their meetings and shit. It's possible, but
At a 7-Eleven? Like, you'd be more likely to find that at like a hobby shop. I'd be more willing to buy it if it was like a magic card store.
It's just because it's just like a place to get mail delivered and like do financial stuff, right? I mean, it's not like they really do meetings there.
Well, the thing was,
Or
is
do
that
they?
well, that's the question, right? The question is
I don't know
that...
why they call it a headquarters if it's,
Exactly.
if it's just their mailing address.
That's exactly the thing that I was like, I wouldn't have blinked twice if that was just a P.O. box. And they said it was just a P.O. box. Is that they called it a headquarters, and then that it also linked to all these other businesses were linking back to it also.
I'm just.
Did you show Randolph's like rating of the place?
No, I didn't. Do you want to show that and go over that, Mr. Serious?
I mean, I don't tab it up at all, but
Okay.
Is this a Google review? That's what you're talking about?
Yeah, he has a Google review on the 7-Eleven.
Oh my god, okay, hold on, I'm gonna pull this shit up, because that's fucking funny. I need to see this. Where would I find that? I see directions, share, nearby, at this location. He reviewed the 7-Eleven itself?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, got it. Alright.
You reviewed it from like an atheist perspective? Like
Write a review. Reviews. Okay.
Yeah.
I gotta find it. More reviews, 39. Apparently their pizza is good. Some guy named David said it's 7-Eleven and you pay for that convenience. Serving old burnt food, zero cleanliness. Management is the worst and so are the employees. Will never visit again.
I don't believe that. They
the
will.
staff here needs more coaching and training at handling customers. Perfect for a quick bite. I'm gonna share screen so you guys can see what I'm looking at. Alright, outside should be able to see what I'm seeing now.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the reviews on the side here. Here he is! So look at his wings, though! What the hell? Garbage? Disgusting. Okay, here he is. Randolph Richardson. Friendly and fast service... Oh, a year ago. Friendly and fast service, excellent gourmet cheddar smokies, hot dogs in brackets, convenient service including Canadian Post, Canada Post, and there's always more than enough parking.
How much parking does he need for his headquarter meetings, I wonder?
I was gonna say, is there always more than enough parking because fuck all people go there?
The word gourmet and smoky should not be put together.
No.
There's one parking spot for all the members of Canadian Atheists, and it's always enough.
I hope that people on the outside can see this.
Gourmet
well
hot
enough.
dogs.
And look, there's a response from the owner.
Yes.
Glad
We're glad you had a great experience with us, Randolph. You can always count on us for the best selections and great service. We look forward to helping you again soon.
I just want to see if they're calling people by the name.
I'm screenshotting this.
So, I wonder how long Randolph Richardson has been working there.
Hold on.
Hold on.
Can that manager get the Randolph's dick out of his mouth?
No, because like he doesn't get very many positive reviews, so it's all about.
Yeah, he kind of has.
Well, because Randolph kind of like actually works at that 7-Eleven, no?
You think? I don't know. How are we supposed to know
That's what
that?
I was saying. I was like, if you check
Wait,
the
does he?
others, yeah, they are using other um people's names who have given reviews.
If Randolph actually works at that 7-Eleven, like as a 7-Eleven employee, then the owner should have disclosed that when he was thanking him in the comment. That's.
Oh, I
some
wondered if
sketchy
maybe he
business
got the job
practices.
because of the review.
Oh, there you go.
Oh well, that's fair enough.
Randolph Richardson. I'm gonna tweet this out real quick, and I'm just gonna say Randolph Rich. I gotta make sure I spell his name right. I'm not that much of an asshole.
Richard, son.
Randolph Richardson's review of @Canadian atheists.
I was checking his YouTube channel. His last stream was 4 months ago, and I'm like, wow.
Ah, I can't find the Twitter. Hold on, I gotta. Well, look at all the work I put in for these jokes. Like, come on.
Thank you for your service. Yes, do 7-Eleven sell booze in Canada?
Depends on what province you're in.
Okay.
Here it is.
I've been working under the
Canada
assumption this
Atheist.
whole time that he worked there, which is why I used that address for those businesses. But if that's not the case, are they even aware he's using their address, and shouldn't that be brought to their attention?
I don't know.
Well, I think he was just thanking them for like some sort of Canada A service or whatever.
No,
so-
but what I'm saying is that 7-Eleven's address is being used by Randolph Richardson for several businesses that they may not even are aware exist.
They would
They
know
offer
that
A PO box service.
Yeah, the PO box service. Yeah. So the only thing that he's doing with the 7-Eleven that is inappropriate is putting his tag for his business over top of the 7-Eleven on Google Maps utilizing the PO box. You're not supposed to be doing that with PO boxes. The only other thing that the 7-Eleven might take issue with is that, but also, sorry, it wouldn't be the 7-Eleven. It would be the issue with the multiple businesses using the same address would be a Canada Post issue, not an issue within the 7-Eleven itself. The 7-Eleven would give a shit. That's not their shtick. It'd be the mail service.
Okay, well, hypothetically, let's just say he was committing fraud
Sure,
and like
yeah.
tax evasion, whatever, using the PO box. Would they then be liable if that ever came out?
No, because they wouldn't. No, that's not their
Okay.
job. Yeah. You get, if you're renting a PO box, you rent it through Canada Post. You don't rent it through the 7-Eleven.
Okay, that's what I was wondering.
Yeah.
So he basically just went on there, and Google was asking, "Oh, do you own this place? Claim the address," and that's what he did.
Excuse me while I go find this Twitter handle for 7-Eleven. They have a Twitter. There's no way they don't have a Twitter. Yes! Oh my god. Okay, hold on. My tweet is getting better. It's evolving.
For the whole 7-Eleven, like the whole company.
Yeah. Let me finish writing this and then I'll read it to you guys.
And you thought it couldn't get better.
Is
And
the
I was
PO
right.
box the only address used for the businesses?
Oh, the PO boxes are used at the 7-Eleven to kind of just draw more customers in. People go
No.
in to. Okay.
When Randolph Richardson made those websites and he listed the address, was the PO box the only address used?
Yes.
Yes.
Which you can't do.
As far as I know, you at the very least, like PO boxes are like something that you'd put like a sweepstakes on or something. or people used to like when YouTubers like send me gifts and stuff, and there's this very specific reason why you say gifts.
Yes.
Not like send me money to, what do you call it, donations and stuff. It's always gifts. No taxable things. You can't write these gifts off as a taxable thing.
Yeah, this whole thing just, like, fucking screams shady to me. Why wouldn't you go through all that effort unless you were doing something really fucking shady?
It's possible that Randolph didn't realize that Randolph wasn't like
I mean,
confident
he is
in
stupid.
himself, like that the organization had the potential to grow or something like that. So he just he made just half-assed effort to go through with it.
He is dumb, so that's definitely possible. But I usually err on the side of shady when it comes to these people.
Oh yeah, that's not a fair that's not an unfair guess, if I might say.
I think some, like, TV companies may have used P.O. boxes in the past, though. I don't know what the rules are on that, though.
You can use it's not a big deal to use a P.O. box. It's really not. It's not
I don't
a
think
big
you
deal
can
at
use
all.
multiple companies can use the same one, though.
That's the thing that is in question to me. I don't know if more than one business is allowed to use the same P.O. box. In regards to, like, dude, is the same guy running it? It's like for donations for this one, but not for this one. Is this for personal mail? Is this for, you see what I, like, it's all getting jumbled together in that one P.O. box, and I don't know if that's a problem or not.
It's also
Yeah.
several not-for-profit businesses that may not even be registered using a for-profit business's PO box.
No. They're listed as for profit. The Canada Atheist is
They're
listed
registered?
as for profit. Yeah, from what we were able to find, what Helio sent me
Okay.
was that they had like a sheet and everything that they were registered as a proper business. They just like to make it very difficult for people to know that they're actually a registered business and not for
Well,
profit.
that's still several not-for-profit businesses using a for-profit business's PO box, which
Potentially,
raises
I
some
don't
questions.
know if Talk Atheist stuff or his other websites are all not for profit, or if all of them are. I wasn't able to do that much.
But even then, that screams to me like embezzlement and tax evasion attempts.
Okay, here's my tweet.
Especially because the certificate of registration for them is unavailable now.
Yeah.
It existed at one point, but it's no longer available.
Right. Which is what we were looking into. Because we don't like to make accusations without looking the shit up. Unlike Randolph. So, okay, check this out. That's my tweet. Randolph Richardson's review of at Canadian Atheists. I wonder if 7-Eleven knows... Oh, I know, hold on. I need to fix this. Hold up. I fucked something up here. No! I ruined it. I'm gonna redo this tweet. Hold on.
I'm shocked.
No, I made a mistake. Hold on. I forgot to put the word. I forgot to put the word headquarters.
Oh yeah. There you go.
Headquarters.
Headquarters?
Headquarters.
Whoops.
Headquarters
There we go.
spelling.
And then hold on. I need to grab all my images again. Bonk.
Uh-oh.
What? I've already put them. That's why I didn't delete the tweet first.
Good job, Goose.
I got like once in a while I have a 62 IQ. It's fine.
Yeah, but it definitely plateaus around there. So.
Yeah.
Eh,
Do you want to
I've
put a
never made a
full stop or
spelling
something? Yeah.
Poggers. Okay, delete this tweet. There we go. Okay, it's gone. There we go. I fixed it. I fixed it.
Fernando, there's going to be some significant differences between business law in Australia versus the US because, like, when it comes to the colonial countries, i.e., Britain, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, we have laws that are more stringent. The US has a bit more lax.
The United States has like they're just the way their philosophy around their laws is just completely different.
They prioritize businesses to get away with a lot of things because, you know, it's just the way they
Why are we
work.
talking about Australia and the US if this is in Canada?
Because we've got two former business owners, one from the US and one from Australia, having a bit of a fundamental disagreement on things from two different countries that have very different laws. So
Seems a bit.
mind you, I imagine Australia and Canada probably have similar laws. So I wonder if maybe Fernando might be closer than 82. I don't know.
Since they're both simps for the Queen. Is the Queen still alive?
Yeah, let's not talk about that.
Looks like Shesh.
We got something planned.
Since you last
Rez
asked
has a
Canadian
plan.
atheist that question about, you know, addressing their stupid shit, then never tweeted again after that. Never ever tweeted after October 30th. Aww.
Apparently, in Canada, a PO box is not allowed to be used as a business address.
Ooh,
let alone multiple.
Why is Canadian atheist giving immigration advice?
Why is he giving any advice? The guy is clearly clueless.
Join Canada Atheist to get a free Slurpee. Give him fucking $40 a month or whatever the hell it was. $43 a month or something.
Oh my god. So Canadian atheist, one good place to start reading about is reading about Canadian immigration regulations and our justice system. Link given to Canadian atheist website. Are you
Oh my
kidding me?
god.
Wait,
No,
what?
sir. No, sir.
Where is
Hold
this?
on.
Yeah, put this up. I want to see
cringe.
this. I'll put it in the voice channel shenanigans just to have a look at that. You're going to laugh.
I'll probably put it, if I can, I'm going to put it on screen. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me just show it for everybody so the outside can see what we're looking at.
You're welcome. Have fun.
This is tweeting at Aaron. Hey Canada, the wife and I we're talking. If Biden wins, there will be a lot of work to do. This is September 2021, by the way. To try and fix all the.
Shesh, it's 2020.
Sorry, yeah, 2020. Thank you. Yep. Blah blah blah. There's a lot of work to do trying to fix all the damage our Marmalade Mussolini has wrought. But if Trump's coup is successful, then we're leaving this dictatorship. So how can we move to the sane side of the border? Will you consider making a video about this? I think a lot of us are thinking the same thing, but are lost about where to start. I know I am. Could really use help with it. One good place to start is reading about Canada immigration regulations and our justice system. Okay, so one of the funniest things about this is when I went through and looked at this, when I was covering their website said, we don't offer any support or assistance with this. Go to the government website. So let's see. These resources are specific to the Canadian government. All blah, 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 blah. Please contact us if there's a resource you think should be included here. Canadian government citizenship. This just goes to the Justice Department and Canadian. This just goes links specifically to that.
Are you making someone go through your website? Why not just paste the link? It's like propaganda bullshit.
Well, here we go. In their FAQ section, can the Canadian atheists help with immigrating to Canada? We do not provide citizenship and immigration services. Please see our government resources page for links to the Canadian government departments that can provide you with the necessary information about about the official requirements and regulations relevant to relocating to Canada.
So why link here?
So why are you linking here on Twitter, you piece of shit?
I know why.
Oh my god.
Like, they're trying. It's like, you know, propaganda. Like, oh, here, I'm helping you. Watch this link. Oh, but you have to go through my website. just
Noah.
post the link directly, but you can't do that because you don't provide any advice. So why are you butting in?
Noah.
Why?
So when next time he goes to his PO box, he has some more Slurpee and gas money at the 7-Eleven.
Yeah.
Fernando, I don't think it's fair to keep telling someone, especially someone like 82, that they're missing the point over and over again, rather than just having a disagreement, because he clearly understands your point. The point is that it would actually make sense if Canadian business law was very similar to that of US law, given that they share a border.
Yep,
And
some of our
considering
laws
that
are
is that
similar.
Whereas their personal laws, as 82 said, are probably much closer to ours.
Also considering
Probably
7-Eleven, I believe, is an American company too.
Even if it was an American company, it would still have to follow Canadian laws in Canada.
It would still have to follow, exactly like McDonald's has to follow Australian law as well.
Anyway,
I bring that up
People
because
have
I
to
work at
follow
McDonald's, but yeah.
I think we're gonna wrap up here. I've got some D&D to go play.
Yeah.
I need to go. I need to go play in singing the greatest goblin bard that ever did goblin and bard. His name is Murphy. Is there anything else anybody wants to add to this? That little tidbit Manya added at the end, I think, was pretty good. But does anybody else got anything before we head on out of here?
Nothing for me.
I don't want to say that this whole thing is indicating that Randolph is running a scam, but I've got to say that after looking over all this, I got to say that I'm a 0% confident that it's not a scam. And that if I gave him a dime, I would really want that dime back.
That's fair.
I have
All
nothing
right.
to say. Thanks for having us.
If that's all everybody's got to say, I'm gonna take us on out of here. Thanks for coming. Thanks for expressing your. Thank you, Puck. Thank you for expressing how you guys felt in the side chat. Thanks for joining me on this journey of what the fuck am I reading and what the hell am I looking at with all these PO boxes. I think the I think the UFO one got me. But I'm gonna get out of here. Hopefully people will take our grapes a little bit more seriously and maybe actually, instead of just being so dismissive about it, and not end up just acting like butthurt little bitches because they didn't like that somebody said they didn't like what they were doing. Anyway, we'll catch you guys next time. Say goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
Gotcha.
Bye.
Ba-da-ba-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da.